right, y'all. Welcome in. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 168 of your absolutely favorite podcast. Riffin with Griffin, yeah. Whoa! Anyway, y'all, welcome back to the podcast. Oh, turn the mic down. Welcome back. Today, we talk about a lot of stuff. NFL playoffs. Is Cowboys the America's team? Book of Boba Fett. Season finale of Station 11. And two movies that I saw on the airplane. Wrath of a Man with Jason Statham. And the movie Old by M. Night Shyamalan. But welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. All right. Anyways, welcome back to Riffin with Griffin, y'all. If you're here live, we're doing it live. It's Monday live because I was in, where was I? I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Shout out to Grand Rapids, Michigan. It was pretty good. Had a little drama. Some drama unfolded, but you know what? I'm not even going to talk about it. I know that's spoiler. I shouldn't have even said that right now. You're going to be thinking about it all day. What was the drama? But yeah, it's whatever. It is what it is. All I'll say is this. Some jealous boyfriends were out in full effect. But anyways, welcome back to the show, y'all. For everybody, if you're in Canada, Edmonton area, this week, starting Thursday, I'm going to be at the comic strip in the Mall of America in Edmonton. So come check me out, all my Canadian fans. Excuse me. And as always, daily, I'm on Twitch at Erik Griffin Gaming. So come check me out at Erik Griffin Gaming. I love gaming. I play Call of Duty. Ooh, I saw a thing, somebody tweeted at me that like it was like November or something like that. I was like the what do you call it? Like the 140th most watched like Call of Duty streamer. And I know that seems like 140, but I believe there's like 10,000. So I felt like I was up there. Hello, Daniel Miranda, who's like, notice me in the chat. You guys are just monsters, man. But welcome if you're watching me live. This week I had to leave on a Wednesday, and I got to leave on a Wednesday today too, so I couldn't do a bonus episode last week. But I am going to try to I'm not going to try. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a bonus. When I'm in town, I'm going to do a bonus live episode. But to rewatch it, it'll be on the Patreon. So you can still catch it live. But if you miss it, if you want to be a part of my Patreon, I'll be doing. And that's where I could delve into like it might be only 30 minutes, but I might delve into like an old movie, an old show, really get into some topic in the entertainment that I really want to get into. So. Anyways, I still got you see me, I'm still coughing a little bit. You know what that is even before COVID, I had a sinus issue that every year around a certain time, the doctor tells me the same thing. I don't drink enough water, and my sinus drip is causing me to cough. And so it's like I have to have a humidifier going, and I have to make sure to stay hydrated, and then that clears that out. And so it's just on top of, having that happen to me, so it's hard, and right now in this day and age, you can't have bodily functions near people because people act crazy. You know what I mean? All right. And I got to give a public shout out to Rachel, who I was out in Grand Rapids, and I open up my suitcase. Rachel helps me pack sometimes, and I love when she helps me pack because she gives me the proper amount of underwear. She makes sure I have all the stuff that I need. So I said, well, my bag's here. Just take whatever out of it, right? That's what I said, something like that. I get to Grand Rapids, and I have this bag. This is my bag right here. Actually, I have it right here because this is where it was. This is from that's actually Patrick Stewart. This is a bag I got when I was on Blunt Talk on Stars with Patrick Stewart. So has all my stream gear in it. It has my like capture cards and all the cords and stuff that I use so I can stream when I'm on the road, and my picture comes up on the screen and all that stuff. I open the bag and it's not in there, and I instantly blame Rachel. I'm like, Rachel! And I hit her up and I'm like, where's my stream stuff? And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, whatever. So when I get home, and I even made the title of my streams like, forgot, don't have my stream stuff, and I'm not going to mention whose fault it is, just implying that it was her fault. Well, when I get home and I look under my desk, I realize that I took my stream bag out and I put it underneath my desk. So public apology. It was not her fault. This was all my fault, and that's why I have this beautiful picture up as my background for the beginning of the podcast, which is just, Rachel on the beach at Adam Devine's wedding. So shout out to her. Wasn't your fault, babe. It was all me. So anyways, guys, there is one thing I want to talk about before I get into everything I wanted to talk about today. One of the gifts I got for myself this year for Christmas and Rachel was something for the house. So we have 3 bathrooms, I got us some bidets, some fancy toilet seats that you hook on, and they even you have to plug them in because it has like a remote control too. And on the remote control, you have like a seat warmer, where you want to wash, front, back, a fan. So you could turn on the fan, adjust the pressure. They have all these little great, settings on the thing. And I got 2 of them, and they weren't cheap. So I got 2 of them, and I put them in like the master bedroom, and I put it in the bathroom that's on the second floor that I use most of the time. You know what I mean? But here's what I want to say. When we going to stop acting like bidets work? Okay? Can we put that out there into the universe? Why are we pretending like bidets work? Like, here's what I mean by that. I don't care what you say. I don't care how long you sit on that thing with the water splashing on you. I don't care how long you do it for. Don't think that you don't still have to do some cleanup. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Like, don't think like with this one, you could wash and then turn the fan on and then think you could just get up and walk away. That ain't true, man. And I'm at an age where the cleanup is usually longer than the delivery. Okay? I'm going to say it like that. Right? So this thing is ridiculous, man. Like, I'm trying not to be graphic, okay? Because you know what I mean? But like, you splash, you wash, you sit there for a second, and sometimes and let's be honest too. I mean, it's more like sometimes I'm sitting there like, ooh, stop flirting with me, bidet. You know what I mean? Because it be hitting you good, and you like, oh man, what is this sensation? Okay, so other than that, you sit there. I don't care for how long you sit there, maybe a minute, ever long you want to be doing it. But I don't care what you do. When it's time for the wipe, it's like nothing happened. It's like the thing didn't do nothing. And you still end up doing the same amount. Like they give you this lie that like, oh, you're going to be saving toilet paper. You're going to be saving the environment. No, you're not. Because now you got to use this sucker to not only clean, but dry. You have to dry off too because you're soaking wet with booty juice, okay? And it's just, I don't know. I just think like this is a sham. Like bidets are a fraud, okay? Unless you got some high-powered one that could take paint off a battleship, unless you have one of those, this sucker I'm just telling you, it don't work properly. I'm just throwing that out there. So I just want to know in the comments right now, like why do we, like, what's your experience? Have you had the experience where you were like, hey, this actually works pretty good, or are you like me where you're like, well, damn, what did it actually do? So that's gonna be from the comment thread this week, man, because I don't know. Oh man. All right. I think I had a couple of comments I wanted to look at from last week's episode. Let me see here. because one of the shows I want to talk about is Stations 11, and like Tony C 6 days ago wrote, I watched 6 episodes of Station 11. It's fascinating, but I couldn't tell you why. I have no idea where it's going with the story, but I can't wait to finish tomorrow. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. That is the best example of that show. That is such a great comment about that show. So I appreciate that comment right there. I got a lot of Stations 11 is great comments. And anyways, when I go to that review, I'll talk about that. But let's get into it this week. I got no ads this week, which is good for, I don't know, good or bad, who knows. But let's get into this week. What I wanted to talk about first is the NFL playoffs. Let's talk about the playoffs, man. I'm more of a football fan now these days, even more than I am a basketball fan. And I know that's crazy because I had season tickets to the Clippers. But something about the pandemic and what I wanted to watch and why I wanted to watch it really changed. And I feel like the NFL, the sport, football itself is such an engaging sport, and it's really great on TV. You know what I mean? It's really great on TV to watch football because you get it in doses. It's like they let you set up. You're like, okay. Oh, now it's time to watch. There's the play. And then when it ends, you can kind of space out and you're just like, oh, okay. And then you're listening to the announcers tell you things. You can get yourself set up again for the next play. As opposed to like basketball where the action is continuous and ongoing in spurts of 2, 3, 5 minutes at a time sometimes. But then sometimes you just lose interest because it's just not exciting or there's nothing on the line, excuse me, during the regular season. So you're just kind of like, is this exciting? What does it mean to me? Football has a more ingrained feeling of fandom because especially if you watch college sports and these people, then they move on and then, it's kind of sort of city pride. You can't really see the players' faces. So it's more about the team than it is about individuals. So football's a really engaging sport, and the best time of year is right now in the playoffs, man. So first round of the playoffs are almost done. Tonight we got the Niners and Cardinals. I'm pulling for the 49ers because, not 49ers. I said that wrong. Rams and the Cardinals. I'm sorry. Rams and the Cardinals are tonight, and I'm looking forward to that, and I want the Rams to win. But I'll get to that. I'll get to my predictions later. So what I'll say first about this NFL playoffs is this is probably the most exciting NFL playoffs that we've had in a long time. There isn't really a clear favorite, and every single one of these teams that are left legit has a chance to win the Super Bowl, and you kind of sit there and look and go, hey, I actually don't know who's really going to win or who has the ability to win because there's so many teams that got something great about them, something that you can question about them, but they all got that. So what we got left now is Kansas City beat the teams that the first round was kind of whatever because we had to get rid of these teams that really legit didn't have a shot. They snuck into the playoffs and we needed to get rid of them. So see ya. Thanks for coming out, but you got to get the hell out of here. And that was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers snuck in. Shout out to Mike Tomlin, one of the best coaches ever. He's never had a losing season. Wrap your brain around that. In 15 years, he's never had a losing season. And if you watch football, you know how difficult that is. It's an amazing stat. Hasn't won the Super Bowl a lot, just one time, but still, a lot of teams have never won or have only won one in 50 years, right? So it is what it is. So Steelers had to go. Good riddance, Ben Roethlisberger. You had a really great career, but you should have retired 4 years ago. All right. Then we had the Bills versus the Patriots. I kind of wanted the Patriots to win, but no rookie quarterback has ever won the Super Bowl. Mac Jones is great, but he's a rookie. He plays like a rookie. But kudos to Bill Belichick for getting his team to 10 wins. They won 10 games, the Patriots, after only winning 7 last year with Cam Newton and all the drama with COVID and 8 players leaving the team because of COVID. He spent money in free agency and turned this franchise back around where there was one point in the season where they were the top of the AFC. That is amazing, and it's a testament to his coaching. Shout out to Bill Belichick and the Patriots, and look out for them in the future. I feel like in the next 2-3 years, they're going to be legit Super Bowl contenders. So we needed to get rid of them, though. And the Bills showed up. What's the quarterback's name for the Bills? Josh Allen. Dude showed up, 5 touchdowns in that game, put a stamp on it like, yo, I am to be feared. So that was great. Okay, then you have my Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals, okay? I wanted the Raiders to win, and kudos to the Raiders organization with all of the turmoil and drama that they had this year. For them to be in the playoffs and win 10 games was just amazing. DUIs, murder, somebody a loss of life, the John Gruden situation. And for them to turn that around and show like, yo, we actually are a good team. We just, that organization is looking good for the future, depending on who they get. And I hope they get Harbaugh from Michigan. I hope they steal Harbaugh from Michigan because that guy knows how to turn something around. But one of those teams needed to get out of there, and it probably was the Raiders. I don't think that the Raiders legit had a chance to win the Super Bowl. And then you got Cincinnati with Joe Cool. Joe Burrow, that dude is the business. Okay, I'm just telling you right now, Joe Burrow is the business. He will be an MVP, and he might lead this team to the championship. He got that thing, man. He got that thing. He got it. He got that it factor. So, and I still feel like they could go on a run and have a legit shot at the Super Bowl. So now we got the teams left that got a legit shot. So, number 1 seed, Tennessee. After losing Derrick Henry, they plowed along and ended up with the number 1 seed in the AFC. Tough thing to do with a team like Kansas City in there, with the Bills in there. You know what I mean? They did it. So they fought for and earned the number 1 seed. So now we're getting into the real games, okay? So like I said, is Cincinnati, are they ready right now? If they are, this is how they can show it. They got to beat Tennessee, and then the next thing you know, we talking about freaking, Joe Burrow, like putting his team in after tearing his ACL and not playing all of last year to coming back the way he's playing right now. Whoo, look out for them. But if Tennessee wins, again, it shows they are legit. Derrick Henry's back. They got that smash mouth style. They got a quarterback that doesn't make a lot of mistakes in Ryan Tannehill. So we'll see what happens with that. And then on the other side, we got the game. This is the game. All the rest of these games don't matter. This one is the game. Kansas City versus Buffalo. This is it right here. Okay? Kansas City, are you a dynasty? Can you get back to the Super Bowl? Can you actually win it? Is your team – because they are playing great right now. Like 9 games in a row. They won or something like that, 8 or 9? No, they lost. But they lost to but they won like 8 out of 9 or something like that. And then you got Buffalo. Is it Buffalo's time? Excuse me. Josh Allen was a super MVP candidate last year, but he didn't follow through. He just something happened in the playoffs. So his first round, he beats Bill Belichick. Lets Bill Belichick know I'm here to stay. All right, and now he's got to. If they can get past Kansas City, look out for. But I think if Buffalo gets past Kansas City, they go into the Super Bowl. All right, that's my first prediction right there. If Buffalo gets past Kansas City, they go into the Super Bowl. All right, but if Kansas City wins, I think they could still lose to Tennessee or Cincinnati. That's my prediction there. All right. So there you go. That's in the AFC. Now in the NFC, you got Green Bay. I think my prediction, I would like to see. This is what I would like to see. I would like to see the Green Bay Packers win the Super Bowl because I like Aaron Rodgers. I like his swag. I like his nonsense. I like everything about Aaron Rodgers and how he carries himself. I didn't like how he that whole vaccination nonsense, but I like since then how he's owning it. Okay, and I like that. I like when people go through turmoil and turn it around and win. And I'm petty too. I'm petty like Aaron Rodgers. They drafted his successor didn't talk to him about it. They drafted a dude that ain't good. Sorry, Jordan Love, you ain't it. All right, you will never be it. Not in this league. Not with the Green Bay Packers. You ain't it. They figured that out early. Then the dude comes back and Aaron Rodgers is like, "Oh, you want to draft? Oh, you want to draft my successor? Okay, let me give you an MVP season." Bow. Then he turns around after all this nonsense in the offseason, and then he comes around again and goes, "Oh, after that first game, everybody was like, uh-oh, the Saints put a whooping on them," and everybody was like, "Oh," and then Aaron Rodgers was like, "All right, okay, here you go, guys." And he gives you another MVP caliber season, and he might win the MVP again. Wow. All right. So I would like to see that. So now they're playing the Niners, and the Niners were the little darling pick that everybody wanted to see beat the Cowboys. And we're going to get to the Cowboys. All right. You know what I mean? And we're going to get to the Cowboys because the Cowboys and Niners, this is that game where neither one of these teams legit had a shot to win the Super Bowl. I never believed in the Cowboys, but we'll get to that. And then the Niners, like, you know, there's no way. If they make a run to the Super Bowl, that would be amazing. Kudos to Jimmy Garoppolo, right? But, like, everybody picked the Niners to beat the Cowboys. I mean, you know what I mean? So beating the Cowboys, and the Niners tried to give the game back. Like Jimmy Garoppolo, all they had to do was get down, kick a field goal. This game's over, or maybe get a touchdown, and it's really over. And they found a way to give Dallas an opportunity, but Dallas is so stupid that they squandered that opportunity. 3 passes in a row, they go 40 yards and get out of bounds, and then with 10 seconds left or something, he wants to run a quarterback sneak and then doesn't do the right thing in the end, and then the time runs out. What a way to lose. So the Niners sneak past them, but I just do not see the I think the Green Bay Packers are going to put the whoop on the Niners, right? But in the NFL, it's just one day, one game. You know what I mean? So you never know. But I do think the Green Bay Packers are going to beat the shit out of them, all right? So then you have this other game, all right? The Cardinals and the Rams, which is tonight. And this is the situation where these are these fringe contenders now. In the beginning of the year, they seem like real super contenders, especially the Rams. But then the Rams and Matthew Stafford, they kind of floundered through the season. So it's hard to see, like, how good are they? Like, he has a lot to prove, Matthew Stafford. Everybody blamed Detroit, that he's a really great, but it was only because he was in Detroit. But you know what? You haven't proved that it was because of Detroit. Starting to feel like it was because of you, bruh. Because of you. You had Calvin Johnson, a first ballot Hall of Fame receiver, and you couldn't win a playoff game. Now you out here with this super talented team, man, on offense and defense. You got your dude Cooper Kupp broke the records. You know, you got this is an amazing team they got, and you seem to be the weak link. So he's got a lot to prove and to get back on track on being a Super Bowl contender. And then the winner of that game will play the Tampa Bay. And so, you know, so Tampa Bay put the whoop on the Cardinals. I'm not the Cardinals, the Eagles, which they, of course, like the Eagles never had a shot. Kudos for them for even being in the playoffs and making it that far. You know what I mean? Like good, like to the, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Jason, what's his name? Jason Hurst, or what's his first name? Jalen Hurst? I think it's Jalen Hurst. Kudos to him, man. They sent Carson Wentz packing because the guy sucks. And then they got this, like, you know, guy who, like, he lost his job in the championship game and he had to transfer, and he's a survivor. And here he is. He got his team to the playoffs. They had a great finish to the season. So now they're going to be battling with the Cowboys for the leader of the NFC East. That's the worst conference in all of football, okay? So they didn't have a chance. So Tampa Bay did what they're supposed to do. Now we got to see if Tampa Bay can get past either the Cardinals or the Rams. I don't think Tampa Bay has it anymore. I think Rob Gronkowski is a hamstring away from, like, you know, getting hurt, and then that's it for them. They don't got Antonio Brown, and they needed him, in my opinion. One of their receivers, the big-time receiver, is still hurt. They're banged up, and Brady's 44. So let's just see what happens there. But I don't think they have a chance. But, you know, you never know with Brady. How many times have people counted Brady out and he still made it to the, you know, he makes it. So that's what I'm saying is super exciting. I don't know what I'd want to see, but I would like to see Green Bay Rams, but I would still love to see Green Bay Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship game too. So there you go. So that's my thoughts on the NFL playoffs. So now let's get to this next one here. Let's talk about them Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Bro, Cowboy fans. Hey, stop talking about your Cowboys. Your Cowboys suck, man. They've sucked for 27 years. Let me say that again. They have sucked for 27 years. When we gonna stop talking about the Cowboys like they America's team? Can we stop it already? Can we stop it? If anything's America's team, it would be the Patriots. They won 6 Super Bowls in this time frame. I'm so sick of hearing about the Cowboys. Look, kudos to Dak Prescott. He seems like a cool dude. I like his swag. I like how he talks at the podium. But my eye, as a casual NFL fan, he ain't it. Okay? That's just how I feel about it. He ain't it. And because he's got that star on his back, everybody wants to give him excuses. Give him excuses. And I'm like, nah, man. This guy, he's just a really good quarterback, but he's no Joe Burrow. Who would you take moving forward? This is for the comments too, guys. Who do you think moving forward, if you had to pick between Dak Prescott or Jimmy Garoppolo, which one of those guys do you think you go, all right, I'm good with this guy? I think they're the exact same. They're the exact same amount of inconsistent. You know, they're the exact same amount of sometimes you go, wow, that guy is great. Look what he did. And then he misses the pass in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And Dak, the same thing. Just when you go, wow, 450 yards, then you go, oh, but that was against the Giants or something. It's there's always it's just something about Dak Prescott that's not enough. Maybe he'll prove to be a better player eventually, but right now, he ain't it, man. And the Cowboys ain't it. And I'm going to tell you why. Then we're going to move on. I'm going to tell you why. This is because of Jerry Jones and his arrogance, okay? When Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson, the organization has never been the same. So because of your arrogance, you got one Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson, even though that was his team. They were coming off a championship, and you fire him because y'all didn't get along, and you won another one, but that was it. And that's been the curse ever since. He never should have fired Jimmy Johnson. He should have backed away and let the man do what he does, because look what he did for that organization. Trading Herschel Walker and getting getting all the picks and players that he got for that changed the organization around into a championship team again. And it's never been the same for 27 years. Garbage. And I'm just trying to say, I'm tired of you. I'm tired of Dallas Cowboy fans. It's just what do you have to show? When you watch ESPN and these things and you see all these ex-Cowboy players, on TV trying to hype up the Cowboys, they get excited every single year. They're like, oh man, we got the defense now. We got the receivers. We got this. We got that. We got this. And you think to yourself all right, maybe they're right. And every single year, the Cowboys fail. And so at a certain point, that's who they are. That's who they are until they're not. But I'm not believing in this team ever again until they actually do it. I don't care how good their regular season is, because you can always pick it apart. They play in the NFC East, which is terrible. I saw a stat today that Dak is he's got a great record against the NFC East, but a losing record against every other thing. Well, come on, man. At a certain point, you got to win big games and do big things. You know what I'm saying? Oof. Yuck. But anyways, so my prediction, oh man, this is tough. But I think it's going to be, after everything, I think it's going to be the Chiefs and Green Bay in the championship. And State Farm would love that, wouldn't they? If you get the Chiefs versus the Green Bay, that will be how we wanted Kobe and LeBron to face off each other in the championship. It is really a shame that we never got that. That is the big, huge loss in our sports life, that LeBron and Kobe didn't play each other in the championship at least one time. That really would have been fantastic, right? And we never got that. So let's get this. Because to me, kudos to Tom Brady for winning 7 championships and being the guy that he is. Much respect. No shade on him. But I would take Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback. And I think if Aaron Rodgers just had even one more Super Bowl, you could be like, okay, we'll take Aaron Rodgers now. But because this dude has 7, it's hard to argue, right? But I think Aaron Rodgers is in a position right now to win 2 more Super Bowls. He's playing that good. There's a lot of parity in the league. I think he can really shine right now. And by the way, if I was Dallas, I would be like, yo, you want Dak? We'll take Aaron Rodgers off your hands, and you take Dak. You know what I mean? We'll take Aaron Rodgers. We'll pay this contract. You know what I mean? All this stuff. And then, I don't know. We'll see. But that's how I feel about that. So there you go. That's what I know. That was a big sports chunk that most people that listen to the podcast, I know I don't normally talk sports this much. But that was exciting. I had to get into it. All right, let's get into the Hollywood portion of Riffin with Griffin. Let's go into episode 3 of Book of Boba Fett. All right? Episode 2, I thought was the best one so far because it had this kind of off story. It was its own standalone story about the desert tribe, whatever those people are called, and like how he was interacting with them. I thought that was good. Anytime they in Tatooine and Boba Fett is like trying to be this crime lord, it's something dull about it. It's something I don't really like about it. And I'm going to tell you why. It don't make sense to me. So, like, in the show, people are coming to talk to Boba Fett, and they're all like, yeah, people don't respect you. But you know what? Why would they? If you think about it, he got 2 pig guys, bad bitch Asian girl, and him. That's his crew. Why is he running the city? Like, why is Boba Fett in charge of the city, and that's the only people he has? I don't know why the mayor didn't get together like 10, 12, 15, 20 guys on his payroll. Yeah, go down to that old Jabba the Hutt palace and bring me Boba Fett's head. That should have already happened. I don't understand why people are bowing down to this guy and he only got 4 people on the payroll, right? All right, so now he goes to so now he's in the city. So in episode 3, right? This dude comes and he's all like, yo, people are this gang is stealing my goods. All right, I need you're supposed to protect me. I'm paying for protection. Protect me. So now Boba Fett goes down, and this took me out of it. It took me out of the Star Wars universe completely because they had a bunch of teenage kids that looked like they should be on Melrose Place. Okay, they looked like it looked like a MTV Real World cast on some like stupid speeders that looked like Vespas. It just took me so out of the Star Wars universe that I was like, this don't feel right. It didn't feel right. It didn't look right. I didn't like the art design. I didn't like the acting of the people because they didn't feel otherworldly. All these people just felt like this was like supposed to be in like Los Angeles or something, and this is some like street gang in Los Angeles, and they should have just been like, they should have been dancing or something, or they should have been like, it looked like Bring It On, or it looked like what are those shows? What's those movies where they dance? It's like there's always a dance competition, and there's kids from the street, and they got to go dance off. You know what I mean? It just. And what's his name? The male stripper movie guy is in it. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I didn't believe it, dude. I didn't believe it. It took me out of it. And so anyway, so Boba Fett goes to this street gang, and he's all like, what are you guys doing? And then the girl's the leader, and she's talking smack. And then he goes, you know what? You know what? He's like, yeah, you're going to come work for me. And now they're all of a sudden loyal to him. I'm like, what? Episode 3 lost me. Channing Tatum, thank you. Channing Tatum, he was in these movies, and it was a Step Up. Thank you. That's why I like doing it live, because you guys helped me out. Step Up. It felt like Step Up. It felt like Step Up 9 in space. That's what Book of Boba Fett episode 3 felt like. Step Up 9 in space. Like if Boba Fett would have started singing for some reason, that would have been great. And Magic Mike is the movie. Thank you. I feel like I'm getting old. Yeah, dude. It was like, somebody said Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. Exactly. This felt like Boba Fett, Electric Boogaloo. That's what it felt like, man. It was just so cheesy and corny. So thumbs down on episode 3 of Book of Boba Fett, man. I couldn't get involved with it, man. It just, so hopefully episode 4 they're gonna get better. I got my Mandalorian shirt on, so I still do believe in the Star Wars universe. So we'll see about that. Next show, which I talked about earlier, Stations 11. Guys, I'm not usually pretentious. I'm not usually artsy fartsy. I'm more common sense. I just want things to make sense. But I got to tell you, this show is fantastic, man. It's so artistic. The performances are so grounded and real. And the last episode of Stations 11 was just, I'm telling you, I don't say this often, but it was a masterpiece. This show is a masterpiece, and I couldn't tell you what the hell it's about. You know what I mean? Like, that's, and they make reference to Shakespeare a lot in this movie. They're always talking about Hamlet. And I have no idea what Hamlet's about. I'm not a Shakespeare guy, but there's something beautiful about it, man. And this final episode, they do this scene from Shakespeare within the show, and I don't know, I was tearing up, and people reconnected that haven't, that in the story have been lost for years, and they finally reconnected, and it just was like, it was so beautiful. I really recommend you need to watch this show, man. Watch it with an open mind, open heart. Just kind of watch it, and you're just following people in a story about life. Like, if this would have, because in the story, for the people just watching for the first time and you don't even know what Stations 11 is about, but it's like this post-apocalyptic, like there was a flu that ravaged the world, and it was a kind of flu that was actually deadly. You know what I mean? Like, so like the whole population most of the population is wiped out, and this is the remnants of the population of what's left. And that girl right there who's, she plays Mackenzie, I forgot her name. I should have looked it up. But whatever her name is, I've talked about it before. She's doing such a great job, and you kind of follow her as she grows up in this world. So they always do like time jumps. So they'll time jump back and be like, this is year 1, and then then they're in year 20. She's a part of this traveling troupe of actors, and they have like this thing they call the wheel, and it's just a map of like communities, and they go around the communities and they perform Shakespeare for these communities to give people art, and they got horses, and they just travel around and they set up camp, and it's just a story about the people in this community and how they got there and what they're doing. Like, there's no real big point of the plot of being like, oh, they have to like blow up the Death Star or some, you know how like stuff has plots like that. No, this is just about watching people deal with tremendous life situations, and it's really great. So I can't endorse this show enough, but check out Stations 11 on HBO Max if you can. So yeah, there's my Stations 11 review. All right, so now I want to talk about these 2 movies that I watched on the airplanes this week. One of them is called Wrath of a Man. Okay, Wrath of a Man, and it's directed by Guy Ritchie. So when I saw it, now Jason Statham movies, they're all the same to me. And they're actually my guilty pleasure. They remind me of Jet Li movies. Like, I used to, like, anytime a Jet Li movie would come out, I would go watch it. Because it would always be the same thing. It's good kung fu, his broken English, but, like, the fighting is so good, and it's always the same thing. Like, there's somebody doing something bad, and then he's just there trying to mind his own business, and they drag him into it when he doesn't want to be dragged into it, and he has to fight his way out, and he becomes the hero, right? So that's Jason Statham too. Like, there's like 10 Jason Statham movies that are all the same. he's like a dad who lives on a farm or something, and like he's got a daughter, and or something like that, and then like some bad people are trying to do things, and he's telling them, don't get me involved in this, you don't want to see me mad, or like he's some ex Rambo type guy who's just trying to live his life, and then he gets dragged into a situation. There's like 10 Jason Statham movies that are just like that. So when I saw this one, I was like, oh, this is gonna be another one of these movies, I can't wait to watch it. But then I saw it was directed by Guy Ritchie. Now, Guy Ritchie, this dude's pretty dope, man, as a director and storyteller. You know what I mean? Like, he's done Snatch, and he's just done a lot of, like, really, interesting movies. You know what I mean? So when I saw him, I was like, I wonder how this is going to go. So I'm not going to recap Wrath of the Man, but it's like, it's a revenge story very much. But I highly recommend it. It's actually a very enjoyable movie. How it was executed, I like the artsy fartsiness of it. But Jason Statham plays like a crime boss who has a tragedy happen to him, and this is like how he seeks revenge. And you learn how Guy Ritchie tells the story. You kind of get information as it goes along until you're finally in the end where you see how it all comes about. And at the end of the movie, I was like very much like, oh, this was actually pretty good. I was pleased with it. So yeah, man, check out Wrath of a Man. I saw it on an airplane. Like it's an old movie actually, but it just started to come. I think it's just coming out on like cable and all that kind of stuff, or wherever you streaming. I don't know why I say cable. That just aged myself. But wherever you get streaming movies that have just come out, this one was actually pretty good. Yeah. So, this Guy Ritchie movie, because that came out, it was in theaters May 7th, it says. So, that's a while ago, but this actually turned out to be a pretty good movie. All right, dude. Now, spoiler alert, I'm about to do that thing that I do when I watch a movie that, like, either it's so weird that I'm going to recap it like Tentian, or it's so terrible like Fast and the Furious 9 that I have to, like, talk about the movie from beginning to end. And that's what we're about to do to finish the podcast with Old. Bobby Lee called me and was like, yo, have you seen Old on, and I was like, no. He was like, you have to watch it. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, oh, I love that. So when somebody says that, I'm like, especially coming from Bobby, I got to watch it. Okay? I got to watch it. So Old, M. Night Shyamalan is back again. This guy, I think M. Night Shyamalan has shot his wad. I think he's done. I don't know, but I shouldn't even say that because I do like Servant on Apple. He's a part of Servant, and I like Servant. But his movies, I don't know what's going on, dude. I mean, you got the top three for me for him are Sixth Sense, obviously, The Village, and some people are iffy on The Village. I really enjoyed The Village. And then it's what's the other one with Morgan Freeman? What is that freaking? Why am I forgetting it? And they just did a sequel, which was terrible. But Unbreakable. There you go. Those were the three that, like, I think that's it for him. And then he's tried to capture that magic ever since. But Old, man, I mean, it stars a plethora of people. Gael Garcia, who actually he's in Stations 11, which is a really good show. It's just a bunch of people. So let's just recap Old, y'all. All right, so Old opens up with this family, mother and father and two kids, or is it three kids? Do they got three kids? Two kids. And obviously the mother and father they're not getting along. They're getting divorced. Something's up with her. You find out early that she's got something wrong with her, a tumor or something like that. I think you find that out early on in the movie. And so they're going on this vacation. They're going on a vacation, and they don't want to tell the kids that they're going to get divorced. So they, so they get to it. So they, and they make these like really bad. It's bad writing choices of like making reference to like getting older, and it's like it's so crazy, right? So then they go to this beach, this resort, And there's other people there, and they see him, and they're like, oh, hey, what's up, whatever. And then the people are like, at the resort are like, oh, they make this big show of like, here's your drink cocktails made just for you. And so the parents drink the cocktails, and the kids are like, and then the one kid like befriends some kid who's at the resort. And they're walking around asking people what they do and blah, 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 blah. So then, the concierge guy of the place is like, hey, we have a special place we want to send you guys, It's a beach, and you'll be there all day. All right. So they get into a van, and this family goes to this beach, and then there's other people at the beach. All right. And we'll talk about that. So we get to the beach, and so so we meet some other cast of characters. So there's like an older guy. He's a doctor, and he got a bad young wife, and they have a kid, all right? And the wife makes a show of saying, I have a calcium deficiency, so make sure I didn't know why they were doing this at the time, but she's making a big show of being like, I have a calcium deficiency. And so they're on vacation with their little girl, his mom, him, and they're there too. So they're also on the beach. And then there's another couple, an Asian guy and a black woman, and the black woman is getting seizures. So she has seizures, so she makes a whole thing out of dinner where she spills her food, and then she's having a seizure, and everybody's like, boom. Then the doctor guy comes over, and he's like, looks at her, and he's like, she'll be fine, whatever. They're on the beach too, okay? And then who else is there? And then when we get there too, there's this dude who's like a rapper, all right? And he's there. And he's got nosebleeds. And then there was some girl that was there. So there's a scene where there's a girl. She gets naked. She's obviously trying to be with the rapper. She goes out into the oceans to swim. And then we don't see anything of them again. They're all on the beach. All right. So now they get to the beach. As they're going to the beach, they get there. And then the guy is like, and I believe played by M. Night Shyamalan, actually. He's like the bus driver. He gives them food. He's like a big thing of food. And they're like, wow, this is a lot of food. Why are you giving us all this food? And they're like, yeah, well, you'll be here all day. Just, better to have it than not. All right, so they got all this food. They're on the beach. So now while they're on this beach now, stuff starts to happen, Stuff is starting to happen. They got a dog that also a dog is there with that doctor family. They got a dog. So stuff is starting to happen. As you know, the movie's called Old. What's happening is on this beach, people age rapidly. And this is how they're finding out. So the white girl that was with the rapper, she dead. She washes up on the beach and she's dead. Now the doctor thinks that the black guy killed her. So now everybody's nervous and they're like, there's a dead body. And they're like, let's get off this beach. So there's this cave that they have to walk through to get back. And every time they try to walk through this cave, everybody passes out and they end up back on the beach. So that keeps happening, right? So now as the movie progresses, you're like, what's happening? And now it's just like, and it's just a lot of bad acting and like a lot of bad indicating and like whatever, So now the kids start to grow. So like the kids are growing rapidly, and as the camera angles are trying to show, the little boy's like, my swimsuit doesn't fit anymore. And then like, the parents, the parents are looking at them and they're like, who the hell are these kids? I don't even recognize these kids. You know what I mean? And then it's their kids, bitch. They just older now. So now, the mom's like, yeah, you better go use one of my bathing suits. So the little girl has her bathing suit. And then the little boy is now not a little boy. Because like the Asian dude and the black woman, they sitting there like, how old are you? And you're seeing this from the back view of the kids onto this couple who are like looking at them like, so how old are you? And the dude's like, he's 13 and he's all like, I'm 6, and they're like, you're 6, and then the other girl's like, yeah, and I'm, whatever, 11, and she's really 16, because of the beach has aged them. So now they know something's up because now the parents are like freaking out. Everybody's freaking out because they're like, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? And shit is rapidly. Okay, so now you realize everybody's got an ailment, actually. Everybody on this beach got something wrong with them, okay? But the black girl, like I said, she was getting seizures. She only has one seizure in this, which is kind of odd. I didn't put my mind on it until later, all right? The doctor, So the mom dies. His mom was already old. She dies. Okay. Dog dies. All right. Cut to the black dude goes to look at the white girl's body that died. He takes the blanket off of it, and the girl is now just bones because she is decomposed so fast because you age on this beach. So now everybody's like, okay, now they really realize, and now they realize what the hell is going on. They know we're aging. Not just the kids, but everybody's aging. So now it's a fight to try to get off the beach. The doctor, something's up with his brain. You come to realize he got dementia or something, and he's starting to go crazy, and he kills the black dude with the knife because he's like, stay out of my neighborhood, which was kind of like, I thought it was a little racist, like not, but it's fine within the story. You know what I'm trying to say? But it was just interesting that this guy thought he was protecting his family from this black guy, and he kills him. All right, so you got that. So now they know that this guy's dangerous. So he's a danger to the people on the island. The wife is now, remember, she said that calcium thing? She's starting to look crazy, and she's all like, don't look at me. You know what I mean? Because she's hot as hell, and now she's not hot anymore because she's aging, and her body is breaking down because of her calcium thing. Okay? All right. There was a little girl, so that the hot one's little girl is now not a little girl. The little boy who was 6, he's not a little boy anymore. So they're in the tent together, and now they're like teenagers. You know what I mean? They're teenagers. And so they don't show it, but cut to they're walking back to where everybody is, and she's pregnant. like full on 6 months pregnant, okay? And then she has the baby. It's a whole big dramatic thing. And then the baby dies because the baby can't grow. Like it needed the nourishment because apparently every hour is like 5 years of your life or something like that. So I don't know. It's crazy. So the baby dies, decomposes, and then that's that. So now now they really want to get off this island. Okay. So the girl, she tries to climb up the cliff. Every time people try to swim or climb or try to leave the island, they pass out. So she tries to climb up the cliff, and she falls and breaks her neck, and so she's dead. So now that girl's dead who had the baby. Now the parents of the 2 little kids who are not little anymore, she has a tumor, and her tumor is growing. So her tumor, so by the way, so when you stab yourself or cut yourself, you heal instantly. It just heals. Even if it's not because of the rapidness of the island. So this tumor is growing. So the doctor, who now he's got something wrong with him, but he cuts the tumor out. They have an operation because the woman passes out. And the tumor, it goes from a golf ball to a cantaloupe. They pull the tumor out. She gets healed. She heals, and then she's okay. But she still ages, and she's losing her hearing. The other guy, the husband, is losing his eyesight. So now the only people left are the hot chick who's like disgusted with herself, the dementia doctor, and this family of 4. They're the only ones left. The doctor's still going crazy. He tries to kill them. The wife stabs him with like a rusty knife. So the rust poison goes through his whole body and kills him. So he dead. Now he dead. The kids are trying to escape in the thing, and then this was the stupidest scene. So the wife that thought that it was hot, she's like in the cave, and she keeps hitting herself. And so she breaks her arm, right? She breaks her arm in a weird place, and it heals instantly in a weird place. So she breaks all her limbs, and now she looks like a spider. And she's like, crazy. She dies. So now the only people left are the brother and sister. And they're like 50 now, okay? So they're 50. So they got some something in the story where they had some the little kid from earlier and him bonded, and they had this kind of like cipher that they would like decipher a coded thing that you match up the symbols. And so the kid left these guys a message saying something about the coral, like you can escape in the coral, basically what they figure out. So they swim, and then they also notice that they're being watched. So they're being watched and observed. So the 2 brother and sister, they dive into the coral, to try to escape. And then you cut to up top, you see that it's some sort of scientific thing. They're watching them. So then you start to find out what the hell is going on with this movie. So you cut to now, you're in like a laboratory, and then these people are kind of celebrating. They're like they're saying, "Hey, moment of silence for a test group, whatever." Come to find out that these people were a test group, and these scientists are using this island as a way to test medication, because you could give the medication to someone, and then we could see in one day is really 20 years or 50 years. You know what I mean? Like one day is 30 years. So they can give somebody some medication and they can test it, and so they can save lives. That is the justification, you know? So that little drink in the beginning of the movie was actually medication in it for these people, whatever their ailments were. So then you cut back to and you realize, oh, the black girl didn't have a seizure because they gave her some experimental seizure medication. And so the people are like celebrating because they're like, it worked because she didn't have a seizure in 8 hours, which is equivalent to 16 years. So that's going to save lives, you know? And so then they're making this whole discussion about like, we shouldn't put people with mental things because they end up being violent. This has happened before. So now you're just kind of like, what? Like what is happening here? This is some kind of weird justification to kill people. So you're like, all right, I get it. Cut back to now, the brother and sister, you think they drowned, but they actually escaped. They get to the resort. One of the people at the resort magically is a cop, and they go, hey, I hear you're a cop. And then they give them this like notebook that they found on the beach of all the people's names that died. And they're like, oh yeah, man, we were missing. These people are missing. You know what I mean? And so now the place gets shut down. And that's the movie. And I was like, what? What? M. Night Shyamalan? M. Night Shyamalan? Shyamalan? It wasn't engaging. I think there were some really great actors in this movie that were wasted away on this nonsense. Okay? The guy keeps trying to make sort of spooky, twisted, like this was supposed to be the twist. Because, you know, every movie he's got a twist. And this was supposed to be the twist to make you be like, oh, that's what's happening. It wasn't a good one. I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope he gets it together and writes another gem that we could be like, ooh, get that feeling that we got. But this ain't it. So, spoiler alert recap of old. So, you know, that was like what we're going to call old business, you know. So I don't know, man. That's my feeling on old. And yeah, well, we did it again, y'all. We did it again. Live Riffin with Griffin. Check me out in a little bit here because I will be on Erik Griffin Gaming live on Twitch, and occasionally I'll put those videos on Erik Griffin Gaming on YouTube. That's my other YouTube channel. I will be in Edmonton this week, so if you're in the Canada area, you want to come see me do some comedy, come out to Edmonton and we'll check that out. But anyways, this has been Riffin with Griffin. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I appreciate you for being here. I love the loyalty. Check me out on King and the Sting. Check me out on Gen to Gen. And check me out on a podcast near you because people like having me on and I like doing them. I appreciate you, and I will see you next week.